Alright, senza question 4 manje. Nakhona is still based under waves, sound and light. So paper elilodwa grade 10 March 2020 physics paper 1. Alright. Sekuthiwa lana a longitudinal wave moves along a slinky spring. Positions A and B are the centers of a compression and a rarefaction respectively. A and B are 24 centimeters apart. Basitobela I diagram. Alright. So, yini la engimele si understand. First of all, kunamagama engimele siwachaze ukuze sizokwazi ukunderstand ukuthi sidila nani la. So, sine longitudinal wave, kumele sazi ukuthi yini le. Along a slinky spring. Kumele uyazi ukuthi yini le. Positions A and B are the centers of a compression and a rarefaction, respectively. A and B are 24 centimeters apart. Alright, so asicaleni. I-longitudinal wave le abakhuluma ngayo la i-wave enjani. Remember, ahlukene kabili ama-wave. We have ama-transverse nama-longitudinals. Alright, so ngathi mina kwena uma i-energy of the wave passes through ama-particles of a certain medium, okusho ukuthi le wave le mhlambe idlule emoyeni or idlule emanzini, izowenzani ama-particles alawo manzi noma lawo moya. They will move, and if they move kwi-direction ezoba parallel to the direction of motion of the wave, sizoyibiza nge-longitudinal wave. Kodwa if they move perpendicular kuzoba yini i-transverse wave. Okusho ukuthi i-longitudinal wave, it is a wave whereby the particles of the medium vibrate or move parallel to the direction of motion of the wave. Alright, sibe ne slinky spring. So think of a spring, leso saziyo vele spring nje lesi esi-flexible. But ke i-slinky string is much more weak. It's not made of insimbi or mhlambe ucingo cha. It is made of most of the time mhlambe kuba plastic or rubber, but because mawuyidedela yehla ivule kakhulu kube ngathi iyo, and then it comes back kanje. Nakhona uyakwazi ufaka ama-waves nakhona, give it some thrust, izoqhamuka ihambe i-wave kuyona ini i-sling, which means the slinky is the medium. Alright, sekuthiwa lana positions A and B are centers of a compression and a rarefaction respectively. Alright, so uma bethi A no B ama-centers a compression ne rarefaction respectively, okusho ukuthi u-A lo respectively uqonda ukuthi u-A hambiselana no-compression, u-B hambiselana nani no rarefaction. And then base basibuza la ukuthi define the term compression. Vele kubalekile ukuthi siyazi i-compression ne-rarefaction umehluko. So la ama-particles aqhelelane khona kakhulu, okusho ukuthi the region or le ndawo whereby the particles of the medium are furthest apart, aqaqene kakhulu, aqhelelene, leyo ndawo siyibiza nge-rarefaction. But the region whereby the particles of the medium are closest together siyibiza nge-compression. Okusho ukuthi la ama-particles eqaqene khona kakhulu sithi yini? I-rarefaction. La esondelene khona kakhulu sithi yini? I-compression. So njengoba kuthiwa define the term compression for 2 marks, so already sesiyakwazi ukuyidefine. So wena ma uyidefine uzothi a region in a longitudinal wave where the particles of the medium are closest together. I-compression la ehlangene khona kakhulu ama-particles, leyo ndawo siyibiza nani? Nge-compression. Indawo, the region, hayi ukuthi wona ama-particles, lo omehluko lo. Okusho ukuthi mengase kube khona yabo kulezi indawo lezi whereby ama-particles aqhelelene khona la yabo nje la leli point suka kuleli nala lama-point leli naleli or noma ngivele ngiyibeka nje this point u-A naleli u-B. U-A represents ama-rarefaction because the particles are more spaced kuney'khala ey'ningi between them than u-B whereby they are closest together, which means la it represents i-compression kanti la it represents i-rarefaction. Siphendule umbuzo olandelayo. Alright, so again for 2 marks kuzomele sithole to use the diagram to determine the wavelength of the wave. So ubude be-wave eyodwa. What we know is between A no B it is 24 centimeters. Yini sifunayo i-wavelength. So mangaka ama-waves like between A and B. We know ukuthi from rarefaction like khona to another or adjacent rarefaction elandelayo like khona gives you one wavelength, or from a compression to a compression that is also one wavelength. So masuka la sizaphi ngala, that is 1 masuka nje la sithi 1 2 but awuphelele 2.5. So kahle kahle there are 2.5 waves la, 2.5 waves, but i-distance yabo i-24 centimeters. So sesothisho ukuthi i-wavelength yethu it is lo 24 lo wabo simdivide ngo 2.5 iyona wavelength yethu. The total imag there are 2.5 waves and their total distance is 24. So the length of one wave kuzoba u-24 simdivide no 2.5. So was 24 divided by 2.5 uzosinikeza u-9.6 meters. So marks nje wakho lo olula ukuthola i-wavelength. Remember i-wavelength leyabathi ibale, it is the distance between any two adjacent points that are in phase in a wave. Lo ma-point asesebenzisile abe in phase kwasho ukuthi agcina la kusala omunye half la uzosinikeza u-B. So lapho ke sabona lapho kusho kuzoba u-2.5, which means there are 2.5 cycles noma omunye ngathi 2.5 waves, omunye ngathi 2.5 vibrations. Kukwena ukuthi 2.5 ubize kanjani, but ama-waves awu-2 no half, kodwa i-distance yabo i-24 centimeters. So 24 divided by 2.5 kuzoba 24, divided by 2.5 centimeter, not meter, centimeter. Why 60 centimeter? It is because besinikezwe i-unit in centimeters. If besinikezwe 24 meters, then besosebenzisa 9.6 meters. So this is the final answer. Sesodlulela ku 4.1.3. Determine the period of the wave if it takes 1.5 seconds for a particle to move from A to B. Alright, so kulo mbuzo ke bathi asithole i-period. Yini qala i-period? Kumele ukwazi ukuyazi lento ukuthi iyini kahle kahle into ozoyibala. I-period, it is a time taken for 2 consecutive crests to pass a point on a wave. Ilesikhathi lesi sokuthi ama-point amabili a-adjacent or alandelanayo a-consecutive. Ileso sikhathi leso ukuthi lo ma-point omabili adlule i-point elilodwa, which means athatha isikhathi esingakanani kahle kahle. Yayizo iyona period ke le. So from ithatha 1.5 seconds for a particle to move from A to B. So ukuthi isuke la ku A iye ku B, so ukuze ihambe 24 centimeters kahle kahle imthatha 1.5 centimeters. We want to know i-period. Remember i-period represents one cycle, which is the time it takes for one cycle kahle kahle. Ukusho ukuthi one wavelength. So buka, how many waves do we have sinama-waves awu-2,5 angithi. So i-period uthini sinama-wave awu-2,5 and wonke athatha u-1,5 seconds uma esewonke. So iyodwa izothatha-ke how many seconds? So ukwena-ke ukuthi uzoyibala ngokuthi 2,5 divided by 1. That's 1,5 divided by 2,5 kanje. And then 1,5 divided by 2,5 sinikeza u-0,6. So which was the period kahle 0,6 seconds. So every 0,6 seconds one wavelength has passed a certain point. Because ama answers akho kumele ukwazi uku-understand ukuthi what do they mean, akutshelani kahle kahle. So leyo 0,6 seconds tells you ukuthi every 0,6 seconds kudlula i-wave eyodwa kwi-point emthize, maybe A, maybe B, whatever, yabo. So ukusho ukuthi iyona period yethu le for 2 marks we were able to get i-period. Manje ukubheka i-period la siyithole ngendlela ethe ukuhluka. Why? We didn't use the formula. It's T is equal to 1 over F. Why? I-frequency abasitshelanga angithi. So what did we use? Sisebenzisa abasinike kona. They gave us the total time ukuthi 1,5 seconds. And we know ukuthi there are 2,5 waves. So which means iyodwa ke ithatha how many seconds? Now we know 0,6. Siyani kumbuzo olandela. Alright, so 4.2 lo basinikeza statement esisha le-table ngala, which means we are not dealing with le-table le diagram yasekuqaleni. So manje kuthiwa Thabo and Thabiso conducted an experiment to determine the speed of sound in air. They stood 500 meters away from the mountain and fired a toy gun directly towards the mountain. Thabiso simultaneously started a stopwatch. He then recorded the time taken to hear the echo. The experiment was repeated 3 times and the readings were recorded. Okay, so now in diagram we have Thabiso laphezulu nangu Thabo, and the distance between Thabiso and Thabo and the mountain is 500 meters. So, experiment yokuqala, the time taken for the echo to return was 3,1 seconds. 3,01. With second experiment it was 2,95. With third experiment it was 3,04. So, kubalekile ukuthi bayiphinde experiment. The more you repeat the experiment and uthole answer cishe ifani, it means your answers are correct, or i-data oyisebenzisile or i-method oyisebenzisile for the experiment injani i-correct, yabo. Because as you can see, masithiwa you round off zonke lezi number to the nearest integer, zonke zinear to 3. They were all approaching 3, yabo. Okay, so ake sichaze kahle ukuthi kwenzakalani. So ukhona uThabiso noThabo la, le experiment abayenzayo bafuna ukubona ukuthi i-speed se-sound sihamba nge-magnitude engakanani emoyeni, which means the medium la is air, which is a gas, angithi, okay, which is less dense than a liquid and in a solid. Therefore, sound will travel slower in air than emanzini. Alright, so Thabo and Thabiso conducted an experiment to determine the speed of sound in air. The speed of sound in air. They stood 500 meters away from the mountain, which means laba mekhona bama 500 meters away from the mountain. And then bese bathatha isibhamu sethoyizi basiqhumisa sibheke straight kwi-mountain. And then uThabiso kwathiwa simultaneously started a stopwatch. Igama lithi simultaneously qonda ukuthi at the same place and the same time. Ukusho ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi kuqhuma inhlamvu kulowo ndawo leyo. uThabo lethami iqhumisa inhlamvu, uThabiso uqala i-stopwatch at the same time. Ilento abayishoyo. Stopwatch iyonto le eqala isikhathi. And then masithani he then recorded the time taken to hear the echo. Okusho ukuthi lesikhathi lesi esibhaliwe la, isikhathi sokuthi aqhumise isibhamu and then ihambe sound but la isikhala khona isi-reflected khona isound la iseyizwa khona ila ise-recorda khona kusho ukuthi oh it took 3 seconds la it took kanje la. And the experiment was repeated 3 times and readings were recorded. So njengoba ngichazela kubalekile ukuthi i-experiment ibe repeated to make our data reliable. Ukusho ukuthi umuntu uma umtshela ukuthi uma uqhumisa isibhamu esikanje it will take 3 seconds if you are 500 meters away for i-echo ukuthi uyizwe. Yayizwe leyo. Athi hayibo wazi ngani? Mase uyamtshela no hayi ngenze experiment kanje. Ngaze ngayiphinda kawu3 and wonke ama-answer ami abecisha lingane no3. Yayizwe leyo. So it proves uyamkhombisa ukuthi usuyizame kaningi and the answer yakho is still the same. So you making experiment yakho ibe valid. Alright, so umbuzo sikakawuboni what we can take from a statement la is siyazi aim yabo bafuna ukuthola ispeed angithi sani so use sound emoyeni they are 500 meters away. Okay, lo kukhona kwi diagram we have itable ngala so we will put our answers ethu ngala. So wena if you can't see clearly or you need to double check into that ibhalwe statement or anything like that, send a message go WhatsApp and request ukuthi sikusendele yona lo question paper or i-study guide esinama guidelines on how to answer le mibuzo esiyiphendulayo njengamanje ukuze izoba phambi kwakho. Uma kuwukuthi uba nenkinga uzokwazi ukuthi uhambe mawusuyitholile efonini sikusendelile ku WhatsApp uzokwazi ukuhamba uyeyiprintela somewhere ngakini. Probably it cost mhlawumbe u2 3 rand ipage lilodwa. Uma usuyiprintile uzokwazi uyibambe ngesandla. So uma usuyibambe ngesandla i-question paper there is a physical contact between you the learner and i-question paper. Lapho uzokwazi uma ufunda you can circle izinto, you can highlight, you can do whatever elakho iphepha. So manje sizoqala siphendule umbuzo wokuqala under question 4.2. Alright, now umbuzo wokuqala under 4.2. So 4.2.1 uthi how is an echo produced? Which means the echo yenzeka kanjani. But firstly, in order to answer this question, you need to know ukuthi yini i-echo iyodwa. So a brief description nje yayo to understand the concepts of what is an echo. I'm sure wake at some point wamemeza or kwawukhona i-sound ekhalayo ngakini and then you heard it again. Okusho ukuthi mhlawumbe asithi mhlawumbe kukhona inja kini leyo nja leyo asithi mhlawumbe uSnoopy igama lakhe. So mhlawumbe qhamuka ubhuti wakhe amemeza athi we Snoopy and then when you also hear umuntu ozothi we Snoopy a few seconds later yabo mhlawumbe ozothi we Snoopy kanjalo. So lo sound leyo siyibiza nge-echo. Why sithi echo? It is because ukuze yenzeke i-echo a sound wave needs to be emitted. So my iphuma lo sound wave it will reflect off our hard surfaces and then when it comes back and as an echo, which means an echo is just a reflected sound. So okusho ukuthi la how is an echo produced? When into zoyisho ukuthi the sound waves get reflected off hard surfaces. Fair. For 1 mark, ayikho into engaka. When you just need to remember an echo is a reflected sound. How does it get reflected? It reflects off hard surfaces. And then when it reflects back, when it comes back, when it bounces back off into its ease, it comes back as an echo. Isn't it? Yona into emele siyichazela eyenzekile ngala because lo uqhumisa isibhamu angithi and then wakala isikhathi sokuthi ayezwe i-echo ezobounce la kwi-mountain, which means the sound wave is going to travel 500 meters and bounce off i-mountain and come back 500 meters. Yona into abayishoyo phela. Siphendule umbuzo olandela. Alright, so kuthiwa manje determine the average time from the above readings. Okay, so siku 4.2.2 kuthiwa manje determine the average time from the above readings. So the average, that is cut this the time it took for uthabiso ezwe i-echo. So why a bit above? It is because the question paper, when you print it out, ama readings angaphezulu kombuzo, they are above. Kanti kuthina la separate kanje. Ama questions are left, and then the diagram, the table is on the right side. So the average ka-maths, statistics, data handling, it is called a mean, which is the sum of all the data values divided by the number of data entries. Okusho ukuthi iqonda ukuthini lonto, uhlanganisa zonke inamba ela, we divide ukuthi zingaki lezo inamba. So okusho ukuthi the average time is 3,01 plus 2,95 plus 3,04. So divide mangaka ama readings 1, 2, 3. Divide by 3. So the average time is, so tata calculator yakho uzobhala ukuthi 3,01 plus 2,95 plus 3,04 divided by 3. We get 3, exactly 3. Almost 3, so now uzobhala ukuthi 3 seconds. In there, the average time yakho, which means the time you'll be using kwama calculations akho is 3, because zonke lezi number lezi, they are approaching 3. Their central number is 3, which means uma ngasethiwa nangu u3 la, u3,01 uzoba ngala kancane, u2,95 uzoba ngala, u3,04 mhlambe wena ungala, but bonke they are close to u3, which means iwona lo abazama kuma approach, which is the same number you'll be using for ama calculations akho. Sambe sekubona. Alright, so manje la, calculate the speed of sound. 2 marks. So siyazi ukuthi sine the speed of sound v is equals to the distance all over the time. Formula nje leyo uyaziyo na, uyisebenzisayo uma ufuna speed of sound. Yabo? We don't have frequency, like we can't use f lambda, we can't use a wave equation. Units now, we have the distance, we have discussed. Siyazi ukuthi the average time of 3 seconds, let's say, right? So singakwazi ukuyithola. But this is an echo, which means sound echo travels twice that distance written. Okusho ukuthi njengoba phela ihamba 500, i-echo le, it has to travel back for it to be heard. Angithi kumele ibuyele emumva ukuze sikwazi ukuyizwa. Ngakho ke it is not 500 meters esosebenzisa. It will travel 500 meters going and 500 meters coming. Kuboba no 1000 meters. So when nje uthi v is equal to your distance is 1000 meters divided by your average time, which is 3 seconds. So now your speed is over 333.33 meters per second. But let me confirm with the calculator. 1000 divided by 3. Yes, 333.33 recurring meters per second, which is almost correct. Why it is because the speed of sound is about 340. So having an answer is 333 is a very successful experiment. So asibona ukuthi be successful kangakanani. It was 98% successful. So yabona ukuthi nje labafana laba benze kahle impela. Yabo, because it was a success in the experiment, yeah. But maybe since njengoba bengatholanga 100%, why is that? It is because phela kukhona ne reaction time. So lo nje bayephethe stopwatch kumele abone and then a process what's going on and then mase react, because umuntu, which means kunalesikhathi lesi a few seconds or even a millisecond, leso sikhathi lesi sincane so it affects data, because everything else is the same. Yabo, now ukuthi ukuzwa kakhe futhi kumele kube sharp, angabe umuntu ongezwa kahle, because kumele ayizwe ini le reflected sound. leyo siqhuma salesibhamu kumele siphinde siqhume futhi a few seconds later. Siqhuma how many seconds later? 3 seconds. So isona-ke lesi speed of sound for 2 marks. Asidlulele kumbuzo olandelayo. .4 for 2 marks. How does the speed of sound in water compare to the speed of sound in air? Choose from greater than, less than, or equals to. Give a reason. Alright, so but uma uqhathanisa speed of sound esizohamba emanzini ne-speed of sound esizohamba emoyeni, isona siphi esikhulu? Yayizwa nje leyo, which means lesamanzi sinkulu yini, si greater than lesi somoya noma si less than or si equals to. Give a reason. So wena ke you should know water is a liquid, air is gas, and sound travels faster kwama medium are dense. Density, mass per unit volume. Alright, so uma ngisho nje ngithi mina, the closer the particles are, the faster the sound will be. Yabo? So okusho ukuthi la ama particles asondelene khona of the medium, it means sound will travel faster ngoba it will travel ngama particles and each particle will transfer energy to the next. So if the space isikhala esingaphakathi kwama particles sincane, kuzoba lula phela ama particles adlulise le energy, and in so doing ispeed se sound sizoshesha kakhulu. Okusho ukuthi amanzi are more dense than umoya, therefore sound will travel faster kwamanzi than emoyeni. So for your answer ukhetha greater than. So ubhale ngale ndlela abawubhale ngayo, capital letter. Greater than. Why? Water is more dense than air. Mhlawumbe songasho ukuthi sound edela nje, sound travels faster in more dense medium or less, travels in more dense mediums than in less dense mediums. So you're gonna answer therefore 2 marks. So this is the end of question 4. If you have any questions based on imbuzo ekanje, you feel welcome. We are going to send a message and we'll explain lokho kade sikuchaza la kudlulele up until uzokwazi ukwenza. So manje sizobe sesiya ku question 4. So wena if ukhona into kusukela nje question 1 okade ungayiboni kahle ebhalwe la ongayizwanga or anything, mawudinga yona le exam question sizokusendela WhatsApp. Mawudinga i-study guide esizokuchazela ukuthi ama answers owaphendula kanjani, nakhona it is available. Mawudinga extra classes nakhona akhona. So wena if ukhona into ongayi-understand on any topic, sithi ufunda grade 10, wena i-physics yakho ibaluleke kakhulu because it forms i-foundation yayo yonke into. Mase ko 11 and 12 the same topics la wenzayo azolekele pop up lapho nalapho. So uma ukuthi you didn't understand ka grade 10, which means ka grade 11 uma sebe build up on that knowledge, kuwena akho lutho. Bafuna ukufaka i-roof ama blocks engekho, indonga zingekho. So kubalekile i-foundation yakho ukuthi iqine. So we'll be going manje on to question 5.